Hey, my name is Bailey Weiser. I'm the owner of Hello Jude Photography, a North Georgia newborn and family photography studio, and welcome to my channel. It is a new year, and with every new year comes a lot of reflection about what happened last year, goal setting, and aspirations for the year ahead. And so I thought today would be a great time for me to share with you some of the lessons that I learned in 2024 and some things that I'm changing in 2025 in hopes of growth and of rest, and refining my business and ultimately growing in my success. So let's dive in. All right, so when I was going back and reflecting on last year and some things that worked really well, some things that didn't work so well, I made a list. And so I'm just gonna kind of go over these, read them. This isn't gonna be super polished. And that is one of the things that I really wanna do this year is just show up, regardless of if I just came from the gym or if things look perfect. And so here we go. Things that I learned in 2024. Trying something new can be really exciting. Prepare well, be patient, and remember the who. So this one was in regards to Santa sessions. I did Santa sessions for the first time ever in 2024. For years, I've had inquiries of people asking if I was gonna offer Santa minis. I didn't really have a lot of excitement about offering them at first. And then once I kind of bit the bullet last January and called Santa and started having conversations and started like spitballing ideas, I grew a lot of excitement for it. And it ended up being really successful, really fun, really exciting for my clients, brought in a lot of clients that I haven't seen in a while, some new clients, some veteran clients. But overall, the biggest thing that I took away from Santa was remembering who it was for. And these sessions were not necessarily for the parents, like newborn sessions or family sessions are. They're not the kind of sessions where those images are going to be printed and hung on a wall and remembered forever. These sessions were for the kids, which is not something that I normally do. And so crafting the client experience this time around kids was really fun and new and different and exciting. So we had a snow machine outside to add to the whimsy of the Santa sessions. We sent letters from Santa to the kids. So we really incorporated the kids in this entire experience, which is not something that I normally do. So that was really fun and exciting. Another thing that I learned from Santa sessions was to be patient, especially when you're trying something new. It's really easy to compare your start of something to someone else's current circumstances. So for example, a lot of photographers that are Santa veterans will post their Santa sessions in June, July, and book out within an hour or within a week. And that was not the case here. And I was starting to panic a little bit because we were coming up a few weeks out from Santa and I still did not have all my sessions booked. And a couple of lessons I learned from that. One is I did not have promo photos with Santa. So I think this upcoming year is going to be really helpful. I'll have behind the scenes, I'll have all of the images that I took from the previous year so people know what Santa looks like, they know what to expect. And it wasn't one of those things that I could just call him up and say, hey, let's shoot some promo photos with his busy schedule. And so having those kind of in our back pocket for this upcoming year are going to be really beneficial. In saying all that, being patient and not canceling. I debated after November hit and we had 20% of the sessions booked. I was like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do it. And I, pressed on, did more marketing, got creative with how we were advertising it, did our setup and took photos of our setup, and that helped generate some more bookings. But just pushing through and knowing that this upcoming year can only get better. Now that people know what Santa looks like, what the setup's gonna be, what the experience is like, having the referrals and the reviews from those clients that experienced Santa, and some of them have already contacted me to book sessions outside of Santa. But if they were brand new clients from Santa, I'm already seeing reward from that in other sessions. So be patient, push through, don't quit, don't compare your start of something new to what someone else is doing currently, especially if they've had longevity with it. So that was the first lesson that I learned in 2024. All right, secondly, using AI is not a cop-out. This was a hard one for me when I started 2024. A lot of AI tools were coming onto the scene, and I kind of like put my foot down and was hesitant, thinking that, AI is going to take away all the creativity and all of the personalized touches, which I still think to a degree. However, I do think that AI can be used as a resource and to complement instead of compete. And so I use Imagine AI for a lot of my editing as a base. Now, I do fine-tune edits and touch every single image individually as well, but using Imagine AI has really cut down the time that I spend in Lightroom as a whole, which, if you know anything about business, time is money. And the amount of time that I spent in Lightroom last year compared to the year before is not even, that doesn't touch. And we doubled, if not tripled, the amount of sessions we did in 2024. So I think having that as a tool and as a resource was really helpful. Also learning some of the AI tools that Photoshop has available with generative AI and fill and all of that was really a big time saver instead of having to use clone stamps and brushes and all of that. So I am on the AI embracing train to an extent. I still don't let AI cull my photos. I still want to be in charge of that. But as far as the editing and putting a base on things, I'm all for utilizing the tools that we have available now. Okay, third thing that I learned this year, it's always okay to reassess. I think stepping back from some things is healthy. I think reassessing regularly is really healthy. And so what I mean by that is looking at your books and seeing, okay, if I've got a higher percentage of this type of session or a lower number of these bookings, how do I increase these bookings? Is this something that I want to continue doing? Is this something that is not life-giving? It's not profitable. It's not beneficial. Do I need to cut the fat off of that so that I can focus on areas that I do like, that I see success in, that are life-giving to me? So reassessing regularly is one of those things that I think I did really well in 2024, learned a lot along the way, and made some changes in the way that I communicate with clients, the way that we track our clients' milestone dates, the way that we offer wardrobe. A lot of those things saw a big change in this year, and I'm really excited now that we've got a year of that change under our belt to continue to refine the processes that we've put in place and only grow them from there. All right, number 4, hard conversations done with grace can be really life-giving. I have had both client experiences and employee experiences this year that I've had to have some really hard conversations, and a lot of dread and a lot of fear and a lot of prayer have gone into those. But I think ultimately the best thing that any of us can do when we find ourselves in a confrontational experience, especially if you're someone like me that does not enjoy confrontation, I am a people pleaser to the max, is to approach every situation with grace. Find common ground with the person that you're dealing with, whether it's a client, an employee, an inquiring client, whatever it is. Find a way to relate to them, to be patient, to think of the words that you're saying before they come out of your mouth, and to not always approach situations on the defense. I have learned that when you can put yourself in the shoes of the other person and think of where they're coming from, what their perspective might be, how we can both win in this situation. It's not always a you win, I lose, but a mutual beneficially mutually beneficial outcome for both of us is going to be great. And so how do we reach that? How do we have conversations that are not coming from a point of attacking, but coming filled with grace? And after having a few of those conversations this year and having to really humble myself and be aware that I am, again, not a perfect person, not a perfect business owner, not a perfect photographer, not a perfect friend, all of those things. And coming from a place of how can I learn, how can I benefit from this experience moving forward, can only better you. And so I'm not going to say that I'm welcoming confrontation in 2025, but I do feel like some of the things that happened this past year gave me a better understanding of how to handle them in this new year. Okay, and lastly, the thing that I learned in 2024, before we get to the things for this upcoming year, is giving will always get you out of a rut. What I mean by that is there were a few times this year where I felt like my business was becoming really monotonous and I was doing the same things over and over again. I had a session flow in my brain when clients came in. It just was kind of like a fast food effect where it was just repeating history every time that I had clients. And so one thing that I tried to do the second half of the year that I think was really helpful was to approach my sessions, one, with an attitude of finding the connection and really connecting with my clients on a deeper level, asking more questions, and secondly, giving. And so say that I did 50 newborn sessions this year and it felt very robotic. You know, they came in and did the same poses, you know, although beautiful, but it just didn't feel good sometimes. It just felt like work, and I don't want my work to feel like work. So what I have learned is the more that I give to people, the more that I try to stretch my creativity, try things new, whether like even if that's offering a free session just so that I can feel that weightless burden of performing and trying new poses, experimenting with new wraps, spending time really getting to know the family and trying new things. And I think that can only benefit you. It may not benefit you monetarily up front, but I think in the long run, the more that you focus on refining your processes, being creative, especially in this industry where we are so consumed with comparing what other people are doing, finding inspiration from other people. Sometimes that inspiration can look like copying and mimicking. It's hard to step back and really get a bird's eye view of what it is you're doing, what it is you're offering, and then, you know, taking that and making yourself better. And so I think giving is a great way to get out of a rut. All right, so before we move on to the things that I'm doing new in 2025, I wanted to stop really fast and tell you about a really cool opportunity that's coming up in March. I am offering for the first time ever a multi-day workshop retreat for photographers. This is called the Wonder Year Retreat after my collection called the Wonder Years. So basically this 3-day retreat is going to be designed around the life of a new family. So maternity, newborn, 6-month milestone, and 1-year milestone, and how we can leverage all of those fun milestones that happen in the span of a year for a family's life into cultivating a deeper relationship with our clients, creating a client experience that is beautifully curated, and the experience above itself is better than the photos. And so this entire workshop is going to have 4 styled shoots, one for each of those sessions. It's going to be a hybrid of outdoor sessions, in-studio, and in-home sessions. We're also going to have an Airbnb where all of us photographers are going to hang out in. We're going to stay the night there. We're going to have all of our meals taken care of. And there's going to be a lot of lessons about client experience, wardrobe, how to help your clients when they have questions, of course, posing and styling, and the session flow, wrapping, all of those things. So this is like an all-encompassing workshop for how I approach from maternity all the way through that first year with my clients, and how you can serve your clients well multiple times within the first year of their baby's life. So for more information on that, to grab a seat on the wait list, you can click the link below and we'll get you all the information on that. All right, so on to the new year. There's a lot of things that I'm doing differently this year, some things that I learned last year that I'm taking and putting a spin on it for this year, and some things that I'm trying that I've never tried before. So I feel like the biggest thing that I'm trying in this new year is I have eliminated all social media. I'm talking Instagram, I'm talking the Facebook, I'm talking TikTok, which I never had to begin with, but no social media at all. I'm still gonna be sharing pins through my blog on Pinterest. But other than that, there will be no social media marketing done at all, which is scary if I'm being honest. There have been seasons where I've taken like the full summer off of social media, and it has been really life-giving and really exciting and refreshing and restful. But my entire goal behind this year of social media free is, one, to have a little experiment to see how much my business is affected by that. I do know that free marketing is great, but I also know that not every single one of my clients comes from social media. And so sometimes I think we put an unrealistic burden on ourselves that if we don't have Instagram, Facebook, whatever, that our business is just gonna like implode. However, I do feel like I've built a strong enough foundation, and I've got incredible clients who do a fantastic job of writing reviews and referring friends, that will be okay. And I am putting my trust in the Lord this year that whoever walks through these doors is gonna be an amazing fit, an amazing client, and they're all going to be brought in by Him, and it's not me anyways. And so taking off that pressure, taking away the constant desire to scroll. I'm like stopping the scroll this year, and I'm focusing more on creativity, less comparison, more connection, and less of all that other stuff. So starting the year, deleted the app right before Christmas, and there's parts of it that make me sad, but there's other parts of it that I'm really excited about not having that as a having that on a throne in my life. Just like, let's get rid of it. All right, this year I am going to be harnessing the educational aspect of my business as much as I can, with coaching, with workshops, with retreats, with free resources, and with YouTube. And so I really want to focus the time that I was wasting on social media. I want to focus on creating. And one of the biggest things that I want to create is educational content. And so hopefully you'll see more videos on YouTube this year. I've already got a running list of ideas, and I know the biggest thing that people love to see on this channel is behind the scenes shoot with me sessions. And so I'm working with a couple veteran clients, hoping to get them back in so that I can photograph them and share behind the scenes with you on those sessions soon. I'm hoping that in 2025 I can cut some expenses in my business. If I'm being honest, it is insane how much it costs to run a photography studio. And I know that other photographers have it a lot worse depending on their location. My rent where I am is pretty good. But aside from that, I feel like I have a lot of subscriptions to things that could overlap. Like I'm using resources from one area that I'm using for one tool, and a subscription to another area that actually does that same exact thing, but I just haven't put the time and effort into learning how to use it on that platform. So I'm gonna like cut the fat this year in my expenses. I'm gonna streamline my client gifting a little bit to hopefully make that less of a line item on my loss sheet, and really refine what I'm doing with the money in my business so that I can start investing and saving so that I can start building a studio. So we can't build unless we have. So I'm going to be cutting the fat in the expenses this year. All right, this is a big one, and I feel like every year I have some version of this on my like aspiration list, goals list, whatever you want to call it. But I really want to quit the comparison and be fueled by connection. And so I think having social media gone is going to help with that a lot. I think having connections, like I was talking about earlier with my clients, is going to be really helpful. Getting the time to get to know them, to have conversations, to understand their family story, to like be still for a second in a session and watch interactions as they unfold instead of feeling like I have to constantly pose my clients and tell them what to do, especially when it comes to families with small children, and letting them take the lead and just telling their story the way that it happened. So I'm excited about getting some families in the studio and incorporating more of that this year. Along those same lines, one of the things that I really want to do more is, like I said, pause during sessions, connect with my clients, and pray more. And so I, for a while, was doing really well with connecting with my clients, especially my newborn families, and stopping at the end of their sessions and praying with them and praying for them. And as busy season kicked in and my mind kept going to, all right, what do I have next? Who's coming in next? What do I need to do before I have to leave the studio to pick up my kids from school? I kind of got out of the routine of doing that. And every single time that I did it, obviously I didn't do it for myself, but I do feel like it drew me closer to my clients. And it's something that my clients still talk about that they loved from their session, and it set me apart. And just finding time to make my clients aware that I care for them. And so whether that's praying with them or, talking to them about how they're struggling with their child, or relating with them on the season that they're in, I think having a photographer in a vulnerable place in your life as you're a new mom, especially, that can relate with you instead of just offering a service, is going to make all the difference in the experience. Whether or not they love the way they look in the photos, they'll look back at the photos and love the way that you made them feel. So I'm going to try more of that this year. And lastly, one thing that I really want to do this year is to cultivate an environment of gratitude and generosity. So Hello Jude team as a whole, we do things throughout the year that I feel like do that really well, but they're all seasonal. And so I really want to make it an effort this year that's something we do regularly as a team, something that I do regularly in my personal life, but as a business that we are using the gifts that the Lord gave us to bless other people. And so whether it's like last year we did free sessions for single moms. I loved that event. I thought it was great. Definitely have some refining points in that one, but I would love to do that again. I partner with Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep to offer bereavement photos for families that are experiencing infant loss. And so finding ways to use photography, to use this platform, to use this business, to speak into the lives of other people, to bless other people, and to touch them is going to be better than any photo that I could ever take. So really wanting to do more of that this year. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to stay on the lookout for new videos being added maybe every week. I'm trying to be realistic. Several times a month to this channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the link below for information on that retreat. And let me know if you have any questions, some things that you're trying in this new year, some things that you did last year that were not helpful, and some things that you're excited about for 2025. See you next time.